Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome to Bishop Auckland Theatre Society's production of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. A seasonal tale in two parts of a miserly old man called Scrooge, who after a visit from Marley's ghost comes to realise the true spirit of Christmas. Brought to you in partnership with Bishop FM and performed by members of the Bishop Auckland Theatre Society and friends. Adapted by Jacob Stamp and edited by Charley Stamp. Now get yourself a glass of warm punch and a mince pie and sit by the fire as you listen to A Christmas Carol. Merry Christmas, one and all.
Grandad!
Hello, children.
Grandad, can we have a story? Can we have the Christmas story?
Oh, you don't want to hear a story again, do you?
Please.
Well, I told it last year.
Please, please, please.
Come on, then. Come and sit yourselves round here. That's right. Come on.
I sat here first. You sit on this one, which is nearer Mummy.
Shuffle up. Come on. I don't know why you wish to hear this story again. Oh, you must have heard it 12 times by now.
1,000, and it's wonderful every time. And it's your story as much as it is anyone's, isn't it?
Maybe it is. But I'm not sure I'm necessarily the right one to tell it.
Aw, that's not true. Grandmother says you're the only one who knows how to tell it. Please, we want to hear it from you.
Pass me the book, then.
Yeah!
There we are. There. Oh, you know, I don't really need this, do I? I've been telling this story every Christmas now for, I don't know how many years. Well, since I was a boy. I know it by heart. It always begins the same way.
How does it begin?
It begins like this. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. The registrar of his burial was signed by Ebenezer Scrooge, and Scrooge's name was good on the London Exchange for anything he chose to put his hand to.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug.
Christmas? A humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I am sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right do you have to be merry? What reason do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then, what right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug! If I could work my will, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this Merry Christmas? Out upon Merry Christmas. What is Christmas time to you but for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer. A time for balancing your books and having every item in them through a round dozen of months presented dead against you.
Uncle.
Nephew. Keep your Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas time, when it has come around, as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem to consent to open up their shut-up hearts freely and to think of the people below them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on each other's journeys. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and will do me good, and I dare say, God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your job. You're quite the powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. Will you come see us?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
Uncle, you never came to see me before that happened. Why give it as a reason for not attending now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. But I have made the attempt in homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humour to the last. So Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
How is Mrs. Cratchit and the small assorted Cratchits?
Very good, sir.
All champing at the bit, waiting for Christmas to begin, eh?
Oh, yes. All very eager.
And the little boy, Tim?
Tim, sir, yes.
How is he?
We're in high hopes he's getting better, sir.
Good. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, sir. I'm sure.
Thank you.
And you, 15 shillings a week and a wife and family, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years, this very night.
Well, we have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
After this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some provision for the poor and destitute. Many thousands are in want of common necessities. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Indeed. Oh, many prisons.
And the union workhouses? Are they still in operation?
Yes, I wish I could say they were not.
I'm very glad to hear it. I was afraid that something had stopped them in their very useful course.
Well, a few of us are attempting to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the establishments mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
Ah, but you might become aware of it.
It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Why am I being subjected to this objectionable noise?
Merry Christmas, sir.
Did I ask you to wail outside my office? No! Then go and plague someone else's pavements. Bah! Humbug. You'll want all day off tomorrow, I suppose?
If it's convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I were to stop you half a crown, you'd think yourself ill-used. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
I will. I promise.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Bah! Humbug.
Scrooge!
Marley? Just a door knocker.
A suspicious, slightly unnerved Scrooge walked through his gloomy suite of rooms to be sure that everything was all right. In the sitting room he found nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, a small fire in the grate, a spoon and basin ready beside it, and a little saucepan of gruel. He found nobody under the bed, and nobody in the closet. Suddenly he saw a ghostly white shape in the darkness on the opposite side of the room. Scrooge tensed up for a moment until he realized it was only his dressing gown hung up in a suspicious attitude against the wall. Having changed into his dressing gown, slippers and nightcap, Scrooge started to eat his gruel as he sat close to the fire. As he threw back his head in the chair, his glance happened to rest upon a disused bell that hangs in the room. As he looked, the bell began to swing. It swung so softly at the outset that it scarcely made a sound. But soon its rings were louder and louder, and for the next few seconds every bell in the house did the same. All at once the bells ceased.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it. I'd often heard it said you had no heart, Jacob Marley, but I never believed it until now. What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
I can.
Do it then.
You don't believe it's me?
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because of a little thing that affects them. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a bolt of mustard, a crumb of cheese. There's more of gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. It's humbug, I tell you. Humbug. Mercy! Dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Do you believe in me or not?
I do, but why do the spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is doomed to wander through the world. Oh, woe is me! And witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and turned to happiness. I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. Would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was full, as heavy, and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have laboured on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, old Jacob Marley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer Scrooge, and is conveyed by other ministers.
But you're always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. At this time of the year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Were there no poor homes to which its light would have conducted me? Hear me. My time is nearly gone.
I will. But don't be hard upon me, Jacob.
How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see, I may not tell. I have sat invisible beside you many and many a day. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate, Ebenezer.
You were always a good friend to me.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it all over with, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us.
Scrooge ventured to raise his eyes again, and found his supernatural visitor confronting him with his chain wound over and about its arm. Marley walked backward from him, and with every step the nearby window raised itself a little, so that when the ghost reached it, it was wide open. Beckoning Scrooge to approach, which he did. Then Marley held up his hand, warning him to come no nearer. Scrooge stopped, not so much in obedience, but because he became aware of confused noises in the air, incoherent sounds of lamentation and regret, wailings inexpressibly sorrowful and self-accusatory. Marley, after listening for a moment, joined in the mournful dirge and floated out the window into the bleak, dark night. Scrooge moved to the window, desperate in his curiosity. The foggy air was filled with phantoms wandering hither and thither in restless haste and moaning as they go. Every one of them wears chains like Marley's. Some few, or they might be guilty governments, are linked together. None are free. Many had been personally known to Scrooge in their lives. One old ghost in a white waistcoat with a monstrous iron safe attached to his ankle cried piteously at being unable to assist a wretched woman with an infant. Clearly the spirits sought to interfere for good and had lost the power forever. Whether these creatures faded into the mist or the mist enshrouded them is unclear. But they and their spirit voices faded together, and the night became as it had been when Scrooge walked home.
Humbug!
Scrooge closed his bedroom door and crossed to his bed. The light from the fire in the sitting room was visible under the closed bedroom door. Without undressing, he got into his bed and fell asleep instantly.
"12? It was past 2 when I went to bed. Clock must be wrong. Icicles must have gone into the works. Why, it isn't possible! I can't have slept through the whole day and far into another night. Oh, there must be something wrong." Bah! Nothing.
Scrooge's eyes popped open, and a wave of dread passed over his face. A wickedly bright light flashed up into the room, and the curtains of Scrooge's bed were instantly drawn aside. It was a weird, impressive figure, like a child, but yet as an old man. Its hair hung about its neck and down its back. The arms were very long and muscular, and the hands the same. Round its waist is bound a lustrous belt. It held a branch of fresh holly in its hand. From the crown of its head, bright, clear jets of light pierced the darkness. Its belt sparkled and glittered now in one part and then in another, and it was continuously changing. What is light one instant, at another time is dark, so the figure itself fluctuates in its distinctness. Being now a thing with one arm, now with one leg, now with 20 legs, now a pair of legs without a head, now a head without a body, of which dissolving parts no outline is visible in the dense gloom, wherein they melt away and then reform, distinct and clear as ever.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
I wonder if you might, put a hat on.
What? Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I give? Is it not enough that you are one of those whose passions made this cap, and force me through whole trains of years to wear it low upon my brow?
I didn't mean to offend. What business brings you here?
Your welfare.
Well, I'm much obliged, but I wonder if a good night's sleep wouldn't be more conductive to that end.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
In the middle of the night, it's below freezing. I'm wearing my slippers, a dressing gown and a nightcap. I'm mortal.
But touch my heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
Good heavens. I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling.
I beg you, spirits, lead me where you would.
You recollect the way?
I could walk it blindfold.
Strange to have forgotten all this. Let us go on. These are but shadows of the things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. They are now on their way home for Christmas. But the school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left still there.
I know it. Oh, poor boy. I wish... Oh, but it's too late now.
What is the matter?
Nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my window last night. I should have given him something, that's all.
Let us see another Christmas.
Fan.
Ebenezer! Dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother. To bring you home.
Home, little fan?
Yes, home forever and ever. Father's so much kinder than he used to be. That home's like heaven.
For you, perhaps, but not for me. He doesn't know me or even what I look like. Same as I hardly know you, now that you're quite a woman.
Father spoke so gently to me one day night that I was not afraid to ask him once more if he might come home. And he said yes, we're to be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You are quite a woman, little fan.
She was always a delicate creature, whom her breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
She died a woman, and had, as I think, children?
One child.
Your nephew.
Yes.
Do you know it?
Know it? I apprenticed here, ha ha! Why, it's old Fezziwig, bless his heart! Is Fezziwig alive again?
Yo, ho there!
There's Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Bless me, yes. There he is. He was very much attached to me.
Yo, ho, my boys! No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up. Before a man can say, Jack Robinson. Hilly-ho, clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho!
In a moment, Dick and Ebenezer had everything movable packed off. The floor swept and watered, the lamps trimmed, and fuel heaped on the fire. The warehouse was now snug and bright and dry, and a wonderfully warm, bright ballroom. A fiddler with his friends and the music book entered, and he went up into the lofty desk, tuned his instrument and started to play. And then Mrs. Fezziwig, with one vast, substantial smile, entered. 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable, entered, and 6 young fellows whose hearts they broke also came into the room. All the young men and women employed in the business entered, one after another, some shyly, some boldly, and some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing and some pulling, but all dancing. Hands half round and back again the other way, down the middle and up again. Old Fezziwig clapped his hands, crying out, "Well done, well done!" And the fiddler buried his face in another pot of porter, and then popped up again refreshed and continued playing. The ghost watched, and Scrooge lived and relived every moment. He pointed out the guests to the ghost and talked about them animatedly, though you couldn't hear him over all the noise. The clock struck 11 as the party wound down. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig took their stations, one on either side of the door, and they shook hands with every person individually as he or she went out. And they wished him or her a Merry Christmas. When everyone had gone but the 2 apprentices, they do the same to them. And suddenly, all is very quiet as the young men are left to clean up. Scrooge remembered the ghost and became conscious that it's looking full upon him. Scrooge remembered the ghost and became conscious that it looked full upon him, while the light upon its head burned very clear.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Fezziwig spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that. It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gave is as great as if it cost the man a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing in particular.
Something, I think.
No. I should like to be able to say a word or two to Bob Cratchit just now.
My time grows short.
Why, Spirit? Why would you bring me to this graveyard to show me this?
It matters little to you, very little.
Belle.
Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What I do displeases you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handing dealings of the world. There is nothing on which is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall one by one, until the master passion, gain, engrosses you, have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you. Am I?
Our engagement is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed, another man.
I was a boy. 'Tis true, I am not now what I was then.
I am. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life, another hope, as its great end. In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? No.
You think not?
I would gladly think otherwise if I could. Heaven knows, when I have learned a truth like this, I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, should I believe that you would choose a girl as I? Your temptations elsewhere is too great. I release you from our engagement, with a full heart, for the love of the man you once were.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more, no more. I don't wish to see it. Show me no more, spirit. Remove me from this place.
I told you these were shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Remove me. I can't bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
Marley's ghost had warned Scrooge that a second spirit would haunt him at the stroke of one. I don't mind telling you that Scrooge was now prepared for a good broad field of strange appearances. Nothing would have astonished him very much. But this time he was ready for almost anything. He was not, however, ready for nothing. And nothing is exactly what happened. After a lengthy pause, Scrooge checked his clock, sighed, and with a last look around, blew out the candle, and lay down on the bed. Suddenly, he bolted upright, staring at his bedroom door. Light was streaming in from the sitting room. Scrooge got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. His hand was on the lock when a voice from the sitting room called out,
"Scrooge! Come in, Scrooge!"
It was his very own room, but it had undergone a transformation. The walls and ceiling were dripping from every part with bright gleaming berries that glistened. Crisp leaves of holly, mistletoe and ivy reflected back the light like so many little mirrors. And a mighty blaze roared in a fireplace. Heaped up on the floor, forming a kind of throne, were turkeys and geese, game, poultry, brawn, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, or mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, cherry-cheeked apples, juicy oranges, luscious pears, immense 12 cakes, and seething bowls of punch that made the room foggy with a delicious steam. And there, above it all, sat a jolly giant, wearing a simple green robe bordered with white furs. She was glorious to see, and carried a glowing torch. in shape of Plenty's horn, held high to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
Have never walked forth with my elders.
I'm afraid I have not. Have you many sisters, Spirit?
Approximately 1842.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on a compulsion, and I learnt a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
What business has ever got your precious father and your brother Tiny Tim? Martha weren't as late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Martha! Hello, Martha!
Why, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are.
We had a deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you are come. Sit you down by the fire, my dear, and have a warm. Oh, Lord bless you.
Quick, he's coming! Hide in the cupboard! Go on! Hide!
Why, where's our Martha?
Oh, she's not coming.
Not coming? Not coming upon Christmas Day?
She's here!
Of course I'm here, Father. We were only teasing.
Oh, I knew you were all along.
Of course you did, Father.
And how did little Tim behave in church?
As good as gold, and better. Somehow, he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much. And he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people in the church saw him because he was a cripple and it might be pleasant for them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. He's growing stronger and heartier every day, isn't he?
Yes, dear, he is.
The goose is cooked! The goose is cooked! Yay! Dinner!
Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which you are about to receive from thy bounty, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
I don't believe there ever was such a goose cooked. So tender.
And delicious.
And big.
Oh, and cheap.
It's lovely, Mother. This is a goose we shall remember for as long as we live.
Thank you, Tim. I can't stand to look at that pudding. Suppose it should not be done enough. Suppose it should break in turning out.
Suppose somebody should have got over the wall of the backyard and stolen it while we were eating the goose. Ah, a wonderful pudding! Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no. Oh, no, kind spirit. Say he'll be spared.
If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die?
Mr. Scrooge. A toast to you, Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, and on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, have some charity. It's Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
What place is this?
Look.
Fred?
And he said that Christmas was a humbug. As I live, he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
I should very much like to meet your Uncle Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth. However, his offences carry their own punishment. I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very nice, Fred.
What of it, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it, nor does he make himself comfortable with it.
I have no patience with him.
Nor I. Well, I don't know him to form an opinion.
Well, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. He takes it into his head to dislike us and won't come to dine with us. What's the consequence?
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner. Really, Fred, I think you're being awfully charitable.
Yes, I quite agree.
If that's so, it may be because my mother, God rest her saintly soul, was very fond of him. She loved him.
But do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He's such a ridiculous fellow.
I was only going to say that the consequence of not making merry with us, he loses some pleasant memories which could do him no harm. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, and if he finds me going there in good temper year after year and saying, Uncle Scrooge, how are you?
Shall we have a dance?
Wonderful idea.
I think I've had too much of that lovely punch. Midway then.
Now then, it's a game called Yes and No. And since you're the host, you'll go first.
No, I couldn't possibly.
I love this game. I think we should stay at least until the guests have departed.
Fine, I'll play. What do I have to do?
I'm afraid we have not long.
1/2 hour, Spirit, only one.
You think of something, anything, and the rest of us must find out what it is. But you may only answer our questions yes or no, as the case may be.
Well, all right. I've got it.
You thought of something?
Yes, fire away.
Is it an animal, a vegetable, a mineral?
No. It has to be a question he can answer yes or no. Are you thinking of an animal?
Yes.
Living or dead? She gets worse. I wish you'd listen. Is it living?
Yes.
A wild animal.
Well.
Can it be found in London?
Yes, in a pub.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Does it live in a menagerie?
No, wouldn't go near it.
Is it a horse?
No.
Is it an ass?
No.
Does it walk the streets?
Yes.
Is it some kind of rat?
No.
Wait, is it a man?
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is. Fred, I know what it is.
Oh, what is it? Come on, tell us. What is it?
Oh, tell us what it is.
What is it?
Come on, what?
Is it?
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes.
Oh, that's not fair. When I asked, is it an ass? You should have answered, yes.
He has given us plenty of merriment, I am sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. So I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Cheers to it.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, wherever he is. Uncle Scrooge.
Cheers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you feel rested now?
I do. Oh, bless your dear, gentle heart. You know, my dear, I'm very, very grateful for all that you're doing. If I'd have known you people were here, I'd have come sooner. And I'd have brought friends. There are a lot of people I know who could use your help. Tell me, why? Why aren't there more places like this?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Quite a good turnout.
More than expected. We haven't enough funds to last until next week.
Something will turn up, I'm sure. It has been a long day. Thinking about going home to the family?
No. Thinking about selling a watch.
Your hair is grey. Are spirits' lives so short?
My life is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight.
Forgive me if I'm not justified in what I ask, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw?
It may well be a claw for all the flesh there is upon it. Look here.
From the folds of its robe, the spirit brought 2 children, wretched, abject, frightful, hideous and miserable, down at his feet and clinging upon the outside of its garment. The boy and girl, yellow, meagre, but prostrate too in their humility, where graceful youth should have filled their features out, a stale and shrivelled hand had pinched and twisted them and pulled them into shreds.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's. This girl is ignorance, this boy is want. Beware them both.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Scrooge looked about him. The spirit was gone.
Thank you for listening to our performance of A Christmas Carol. Tune in again tomorrow for the concluding part of this famous tale. Please visit our Facebook page for a full list of the cast and how we managed to record and perform A Christmas Carol. Also at bishopaucklandtheatresociety.co.uk. Thank you all and Merry Christmas to you everyone.